Dear colleagues of the Japanese Soil Science Society, it is really a pleasure to be with you today, although in a virtual way, and to give you a speech. I am Edoardo Costantini. I am president of the International Union of Soil Sciences, and I'm going to talk about possible policies and actions to protect the soil cultural and natural heritage. But first of all, I want to spend some words about the International Union of Soil Sciences. The IUSS is the Global Union of Soil Scientists. The objectives of the IUSS are to promote all branches of soil science and to support all soil scientists across the world in the pursuit of their activities. The IUSS aims to promote the recognition of soil as a vital resource in need of sustainable management and conservation. It is very important to underline that the IUSS is a free and autonomous organization, financed primarily by member contributions, providing a reputation for soil scientists and a collaborative space. All the officers of the IUSS work for free on a voluntary basis. And actually, the IUSS is a second-level organization, as it is a union of national societies or academies, the full members, but at the same time, it's also an organization of soil scientists, the individual members. The IUSS produces a lot of things. I try here to summarize the main outputs. We have the World Congress of Soil Science, which is the major event of the IUSS, putting together all soil scientists of the world. This occurs every 4 years. And then we have an inter-congress meeting, which is more limited in size, and some special congress, like the Congress of the Centennial of the IUSS, which is going to be held next year in Italy. Then every year we have in between 14 to 80, even more, main scientific events organized by the different divisions, commissions, and working groups. And in collaboration with the FAO, we organize over 2,000 events for the World Soil Day on every 5th of December. Then we publish 2 bulletins a year and 12 alerts, and we produce 1-2 books every year, most of them, at least recently, as open source, so free for all. Then a main outcome of the IUSS is the recognition of awards and prizes for outstanding soil scientists. We have the Dokuchayev von Liebig Award for basic and applied researchers, the Jeju Award for young and mid-career soil scientists, and the IUSS Distinguished Service Medal for outstanding world soil leaders who translated soil science into action. Besides these major awards, we have many of them given by the different division, commission, and even working groups for people who made special achievements in the different fields of research. Then we have the honorary members, people who were outstanding during their career. And then we promote several individual members by other scientific organizations, such as the International Science Council, which is a powerful tool to, from one side, promote the career of these people, but most of all, to promote soil science among the different scientific disciplines. And finally, last but not least, we have some funds given every year for stimulus and project. That means that we accept a proposal for specific activities or for project, and we finance every year this request. The IUSS has produced a strategic plan for the years 2021-2030, and it has worked out some strategic goals. The first one is the improvement of soil consciousness. Then the increasing participation of the IUSS members. That means we want to favor the engagement of national soil science societies, but also of individual members to the activities of the IUSS. Then we want to raise stakeholders' engagement and strengthen linkages with international scientific organizations, like, as I mentioned just before, the promotion of individual members by other organizations. Then we want to foster scientific publication with higher impact and boost communication of scientific results, promoting public understanding, recognition, esteem, and engagement in soil science. This is made also through the books we publish and all other material that we publish with open science. Then we want to enhance education, awareness, and outreach at all levels. And we want to continue support awards, prizes, and medals within the scientific community. And we want to improve the allocation and evaluation of economic resources. So we want also to implement our activities of funding through the stimulus and the project funds. And finally, last but not least, we have adopted an equality and equity policy for internal practices. The IUSS has a website and several social media. The website is based in www.iuss.org, and these are the different addresses for the media. And we have worked out a strategy for the International Decade of Soil, starting from 2015 to 2024, to arrive to the celebration of our centennial, our 100 years of soil science. This will be a congress celebrated in Florence, Italy, next year, from May 19 to May 21, and everybody is invited to attend this celebration. The celebration will be followed by a couple of days of Congress, and then we will have also the opportunity to provide for several technical tours around Italy. Now I'm trying to give you some insight in our strategic goal number 1, improvement of soil consciousness. I want to drive your attention on the fact that we often talk about the rights of man, animal, trees, nature, but are there soil rights? Should we consider and respect the soil not only for its services, but in itself as one of the manifestations of nature? Actually, the soil is a natural body capable of self-organization, results of forming processes deriving from external and internal factors. So it should be respected for this characteristic. We must consider that currently the majority of soils are more or less affected by man, and about one half up to two-thirds, according to the estimates, is degraded. So well-preserved soil, natural soil, are becoming extinct. And unfortunately, there are not so many policies for the conservation of the cultural and natural heritage of soils. But there are some that can be followed to improve soil consciousness. At the global level, we have the World Heritage List, Biosphere Reserves, and the Geoparks of UNESCO. Then we have the Sustainable Development Goals, which are not specifically addressed to soil, but to many respects they consider soil. Then there are the guidelines of the FAO for sustainable soil management that can be an instrument to support soil consciousness. At the continental level, we have, for instance, in Europe, at the European level, the European Soil Strategy, with a project on research and innovation, named Horizon Europe. And then we have a mission, the Soil Hand and Food Mission, which foresees the increase of soil literacy. And we are in the process of passing a European law for monitoring soil health, which can also be an instrument to support soil literacy. We have also in Europe some convention for the protection of the landscape and the conservation of wildlife and natural habitats, and a special instrument called the Nature 2000. And then we have in different countries national policies addressing cultural landscapes or protecting archaeological sites or preserving rural landscapes. Just some example, in the World Heritage Sites of UNESCO, there are the terroirs of Burgundy, which are meant to preserve these special vineyards where soils are fundamental in producing the high quality wines of these areas. And then we have the World Heritage Site of UNESCO, and in the tentative list there is the unique example of soil acknowledged at the international level, which is the typical Chernosiomes of the Baltic Steppes in the Republic of Moldova. Another instrument that can be followed is the Biosphere Reserves of UNESCO. This is a world network covering all major representative natural and semi-natural ecosystems, which spans over a surface of more than 7 million of square kilometers in 134 countries, which is almost the size of Australia. And these biosphere reserves are under the sovereign jurisdiction of the states where they are located. They are widespread all over the world, as you can see in this map. They are meant to be learning places for sustainable development, and able to create ecosystem-specific networks, providing valuable insights into sustainable development models and climate change mitigation and adaptation possibilities. They include the networks and research, capacity building, and educational collaboration on specific environment like drylands, mangroves, marine, coastal and island areas, mountains, savanna, tropical forests, and wetlands. There is a destination review process based by UNESCO, And in this instrument, you can find way to promote the role of soil in these specific ecosystems. Another instrument is the Geoscience and Geoparks program, always of UNESCO. There are some 194 geoparks in 48 countries all over the world, where you can find also sometimes sites and landscape of international geological significance, where you can find also soils. These sites are meant to be managed for protection, education, and sustainable development. When you have soils, a key point is the visibility. So soil must be equipped with facilities allowing the public to visit the places and understand why soil are important in this specific geomorphological position, which meaning they have for the reconstruction of the geological history of the world. And you can submit to UNESCO a proposal for a geopark through the following link that is reported here below. In conclusion, I want to underline that although there are no specific actions for the protection of cultural and natural values of soil at the international level, we have instruments that can be pursued to introduce soil in this evaluation. Because actually making explicit the cultural and natural value of soil gives greater interest and motivation to the protection of the landscape, and at the same time can increase soil literacy. So I urge all soil scientists to try including soil values in instruments already set up for the protection of the natural and rural landscape at the global, regional, and national level. So there are there, so you have to try to make your most to introduce soil in these policy programs. I have written a paper related to these issues. If you want to have a look, it is on Geoderma Regional. It is specifically addressed to European policies, but can be used also for the rest of the world. And I thank you very much for your attention, and I wish you all my best for the success of this valuable conference. Thank you very much. Goodbye.